Hi everyone, so I wanted to make a canning video of us making bread and butter pickles. They're actually zesty bread and butter pickles. Anyways, before you start, you're going to want to get 2 pans, one for the jars and one for the bands. Because before you do anything, you do want to sterilize your jars and the bands and lids. I also chopped up cucumber prior to. When doing this, you're going to want to use 4 1/4 of vinegar to 3 1/2 cups of sugar, and then half of the bag of cucumber mix, because we only did 6 jars, which didn't require the whole bag. You do want your vinegar to have 5% acidity. So she's already poured the sugar in, and she's pouring the vinegar in, and now the pickling mix. And this will completely dissolve after it's been on the stove. This is your brine. This is what you're going to use to put in the jars to give it the flavor. So she's just mixing it up really good here. I had actually never done this before. I grew up around canning my entire life, but didn't understand how to do it at all. So now I'm just trying to show you kind of what it looks like. And this smelled so good. I can't wait to try these. My daughter stirring it up. So now she's going to start sterilizing the jars. We only used 6, like I said. So you're going to want to put them in here in this boiling water. You want the water to be boiling. And you're going to want to sterilize these for 12 minutes. And when it comes to canning, I've learned that you want to be really precise on your time. So when it says 12 minutes, it means 12 minutes. So now we're going to let these sit. And you will want to stir your brine a little bit to make sure that it gets all the way dissolved. So now it's been 12 minutes, and you're going to want to pull your sterile jars out and set them on like a towel, or if you have a better setup, you can set it on whatever you prefer. Just don't put it on a bare counter, because they're could defeat the purpose of cleaning them. So that's what she's doing here, and then she will begin to pack them. And now when you're packing these jars, you do want to pack them pretty well, but you also want to leave just enough space at the top so that when you're closing the lid, it's not overpacked. And like I said, I'd never done this before, so she was just showing me how much should be in there. There's no certain number of cucumbers that need to be in there. It's just how it turns out, I guess. And if anybody else has any recipes, I would be more than welcome to them, because I'm just learning this. It's my first year doing a garden, so I'm sure that I'm going to be learning a lot this summer. So now that she has the jars full, next she's going to fill them with brine. The brine is just the stuff that you made to fill the jars. And believe me, it was really hard to not eat these cucumbers because they smelled so good. That recipe, Mr. Wiggins, I think is the name of it. It's such a good brand. And now when you're filling up your jars, you do want to leave about 1/2 inch, fill them 1/2 inch from the top. That is really important. She didn't have enough in this, so she is going to fill it up just a little bit more. And now this is just her showing you that this is about where it should be when you fill your jars. And now that the jars are full, this is a really important thing, that you wipe the rim of each one of the jars so that when you put them back in to be reboiled or be boiled, that when you pull them out, that they seal properly. So this is a really important step to remember in canning. And now that she's done that, she's just pulling out the lids and the bands. And something that is another important thing, when you're tightening the lids on these, they just need to be closed. Like, you don't need to screw them on super tight, because when you boil them in the water and after you pull them out, they will seal. So it's not like you need to be in there, twisting it to where you can't, get it off later. Just a nudge. Just close it to where it just closes tight, and that's good enough. But also, it's important that you screw these on really straight, because if not, they'll go off of the track, and when you put them in the water, it's just going to leak out. So now that we have done all of that, we're going to put them back into the water, and you're going to want to boil these for 15 minutes. It does make a difference in the size of your jars, so let that be a good note to you, that it could be different with the size of the jars, but this was 15 minutes. I think the smaller jars are probably the ones that are like 11 minutes, but these ones are 15. And to be honest, it may be something you'll need to look up, but my mother has this memorized by heart. So now that we have boiled these for 15 minutes, we're going to pull them out. You're going to want to tilt them to the side so that any remaining water on the top can go back into the pan. Because you don't want a bunch of water, resting on the top of your jars. And I about dropped one of these. But I kind of, like I said, this is a new thing for me too. So this is learning for me. But I just wanted to be able to show other people, because I think this is pretty cool. And then afterwards, when these come out, you want these bubbles to be on the top. That's a good thing, and give your jars some time. That will seal. If you can press down on them, then they're probably not sealed and you've done something wrong. So, if you see this on the tops of your jars, that's a very good sign. And then you're going to want to put the dates on these, and you're good to go.